Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eye Opener Society. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the new season. We have so many things to get ready to do for this season. Lizzie and I have been talking in the background and we got so many great plans. But in the meantime, I want to thank you, the listeners, for all the downloads, for all the listens. It means so much. Uh, we appreciate you joining on the Thursday night sermons as well for my guided meditations. We took a little week break and we are back and we're excited about this. But first, I must give a disclaimer because we're going to be talking about some things. All right. Sensitive subject matters. And also, for some people, it may have trigger warnings if you're involved in any kind of addictions, gambling, drinking, drugs and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to give a fair warning on this. And I also want to let you know that Lizzie and I, we are not doctors, but we are going to talk about some subject matters and there's a reason behind it. So I'm going to start off real quick by saying thank you to Appalachian Rootworks, Carly and Carla. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come down there and conduct my very first meditation class. It was absolutely amazing. Cat's out of the bag. We're going to be looking to relocate down to Cynthiana, Kentucky, where hopefully that can happen in December. And we can't wait because so many more opportunities are going to open up. So why don't we go ahead and get started on this show? Lizzie, how are you, buddy? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us here.
Good. I'm just spring cleaning my life.
Yes, and Lizzie, by the way, was 30 minutes late to the to the start of this here recording, but that's okay. We all got stuff we got to do. But listen, Lizzie, I brought up to you something a while ago. We were going to have an episode based solely on sex. And we kind of reconsidered because I'm not doing it to get more listens. I'm not saying, hey, sex sells. There's a complete reason behind it. You and I are very open to each other, and obviously, we're probably going to be very open to the audience as well. We have had some, I'll say, colorful sexual pasts. Let's just say that. Nothing I'm going to sit here and, hide behind and say, ooh, this is bad. But here's the reason for the whole reason for me bringing it up. We have a ministry, and over the years, and then even more recently, when I'm diving into different religions, spirituality, metaphysics, no matter what it is, they're always saying something about sex and how, the pearl clutchers basically, oh my, you can't join this religion or you can't be part of this if you're having crazy sex or whatever. I took this to heart a lot of times, and especially going through my studies. Uh, Even the University of Metaphysics had a whole section in there on sex, but it forewarned, do not overindulge. And to me, I'm like, I overindulged in the past. But as a consenting adult in consenting situations, I've had, like I said, a very colorful sexual past. I've been involved in the swinger lifestyle with my ex-wife, and we had a very open relationship, and we've had numerous sexual partners and probably numerous sexual partners together all at once. And when you go into certain religions, this is so damn forbidden. And so it's basically saying, well, we're going to leave you out. So I brought that up. Just Lizzie, give me some of your feedback. I know we spoke, but let's get this all out into the open.
Well, you gave me a lot there, so um, first I got to say that I think religion really harps on things like sex and stuff because they don't intend to, but people who are very minded that way have a very external sense of their power. And through connecting to your body and sexual energy is a really good way to reclaim your power back. And so by knocking that off the table, and I don't think they necessarily do it on purpose. It's just kind of like cause and effect. But I think that it becomes very problematic because when you start blocking off different ways that you want to exist, it really starts limiting you down. And the thing is everything in this world I've noticed seems to start very much on polarity. Either you're very for something or you're very against something. And then what always happens is when you hit your spiritual awakening, you tend to find that you more or less are doing like the opposite, whatever it is. Like if you start very spiritual or very religious and very like clean purity idea, a lot of the times when you go and leave the church, whether temporary or not, I've seen this over and over again because I live in a very religious state. They get a little crazy. They're the ones at the bar that's like you're trying to keep them from getting arrested or something. you know they just like swing so far the other way. And then I think the same thing happens for a lot of people in the on the other end as well. If they started super like self-exploratory and connecting to their body or anything, or maybe just like being a rebel, I don't know, whatever their journey is, a lot of times they end up swinging the other way. And that's, I think, where you find a lot of people who are very spiritual minded but still have it like listed off as one of those like lower resonancy activities, because it just you just always kind of have to experience both of them, because I guess that's like the world we live in or something. But oh, I had one more point to what you said, but now I don't remember. Maybe you go ahead and interject with your thoughts now.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Interrupt me if you got your thought back. Yeah, I was pushing this because, and it's not like I'm telling you go out there and have sex with multiple partners and all. It's just I think each individual who's had any type of experience in the past or even currently should not be excluded, because I'm seeing it too in the spiritual community. Of course, with the gatekeeping, oh, it's very low vibrational energy. Well, I don't think sex is a very low vibrational energy. Um, then the other problem too is we have some people in the spiritual community that work with sex magic, and it sometimes doesn't even have to include another person. It's masturbation, and the orgasm becomes, the key to getting all of the magic out there. So there are people that actually practice this. Why should we exclude? And that's where I had the problem, with this. It's a very adult-like thing for us as human beings to experience what we feel is right. Now, we were talking how our bodies are our temples. And I said, well, why not party in it? I seen you had a thought there on your mind. Did you want to jump in?
Oh yeah, but now I got on a party in your temple.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
remember that one. But no, I think it's so important. The thing is there's a reason why we all come down here and we start so different, and we always, if we're being authentic with ourselves, we never end where we start. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be partying in it and treating it as sacred. And I don't think those things are mutually exclusive things. You know what I mean? Now, if you don't feel good about going out and doing anything, like, then that's not a spiritually good thing for you. If it brings guilt and shame, then that's not a good thing to explore for you right now. Maybe process why it brings that. Think about exploring it later. But if it's something that you want to do, then it's something that your soul is asking to explore and see what you're going to get from it. And I think that sex magic, if you go back in history, sex has always been a very sacred activity, and it's in basically all the ancient religions and stuff. And it wasn't until it got very patriarchal, where instead of it was like two genders that like swirl around each other or whatever, like two polarities, it became like tilted with an authority and a non-authority, right? And when it got tilted, then sex became this like shameful activity. But truthfully, everybody just shames everything. We were gonna make this episode all about sex, but then we were talking about it like it didn't really make sense to do it only about that because it really covers the whole aspect of all of it, like alcohol, nicotine, you know what I mean? Your bad quote music, whatever, it's not in the right frequency. The thing is nobody, okay. If you suddenly listened to say 432, which is the frequency of love, and you listened to that and only that, even if it felt good in the beginning, you'll eventually be numbed to it, and then you'll find it annoying. We're not meant to have like the same thing. I think the only time we really do that is when that's the groove that we found that's like safe for us. We generally do want to explore. And the thing is all of these things have way more to do with how you feel about them than what they actually are. If you're meditating every day but you hate it and you feel like it's like the worst chore ever, but it's like you have to do it or life's forever gonna suck, that's way worse for like your resonance than going and having a beer with a friend.
Yes, that is all beautiful. And you touched on a whole bunch of points. And I wanted to bring all of this up because, again, us as ministers for our own ministry, we're open arms to everybody. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, because you've had sex in this way or that way, you can't join. I want to be that first type of ministry that allows people to explore safely, consensually, within legal limits, what they want. Now, and like you said, we didn't want to make this whole show about sex. It's one of my pushing points when it comes to spirituality, when everybody says, well, you have to do this and you shouldn't do it this way. Listen, but I want to bring up other things. Like we said, with alcohol, I used to drink hard, but it was never alcoholism. I just, when I did drink, oh, damn, I drank to the point where I built up such a resistance to alcohol. But I stopped over the years and I really calmed down. And I know I spoke to you a couple of times. Hey, I went out for a beer and damn, it felt good. Why should I feel guilty about that? But let me throw something else at you. Some ministries, some churches, tattoos, right? You're sinning by putting ink on your body. That's the devil's curse or whatever the case may be. Why should, if I enjoy having tattoos, why should that be looked down upon? I don't want this ministry to become that whole, we're an image and we're looking down on everybody. We're all part of everybody in every way. And that's where acceptance comes in. So if you do want to enjoy that beer every now and then, or two or three, and you want to have a good time, as long as you're doing it safely, you're not, hurting yourself and you're not addicted to this kind of stuff. Cigarettes, hey, Elaine, our other minister, when I met her, I don't smoke, but I sat in her car and we smoked tons of cigarettes together. You know what? Hey, did it harm me? I did it feel good to sit with another human being that I really connected with and maybe share something like cigarettes? Big deal, right? I don't judge anybody for it. Because we could look at marijuana now, which is a big deal. It's legal here, it's not legal there. It's like people that use it, I don't see any reason why they should be looked down upon either. It's just one more vice that we find that helps us. And listen, we're going to get into pretty soon mushrooms too. The whole study on them. It's amazing how much this stuff actually helps us. And it could give us a spiritual gateway. What are your thoughts there, Lizzie?
Oh, absolutely. If okay, so I have this belief that if a truth emerges all over the planet at different times periods with different people, then there's some truth to it. And across the globe and throughout time, humans have always liked these mind altering things. They've always been linked to just a part of living within reason, and then for spiritual practices. They did these things in community and danced around and connected. And even if you're not having, like, even if you're not doing psychedelics and meeting your like whatever god you're connecting with or whatever, you could still drink and dance around a fire, and that bonding that you guys would do alone would create the kind of loyalty that would be necessary for these communities to actually protect each other. If you think about it, in a hunter-gatherer society, when the men would go hunting, okay, I'm going to say people because that's very stereotypical. They're finding a lot more women hunted than they used to. That was my bad. But the thing is you would be faced with decisions where you had to risk your life to save your friend. You know what I mean? And so each person in the community had to be somebody you loved because you guys were going on like the battlefield together. And then even the women and children, they pass those kids around because it doesn't just take one person to keep a little harmless, like squishy baby safe in the wilderness. It takes a whole group of people. And they're out there foraging with their little kids and their little toddlers, and they're watching out for each other. You have to love everybody. And no, you don't need alcohol to do that. But dang, isn't it kind of bonding to just like have a beer with somebody? You know what I mean? That's one thing. And smoking does the same thing. A cigarette with somebody or a bowl of weed, and you guys are like buddies now. You guys know each other a little bit deeper. There's some sort of thing. It's like you guys quote on the same frequency, and so you can bond. But I also think that that can be problematic because if you go and you drink in the same places and you drink heavily, then you're absorbing that frequency. So when in these things, it's really important to think about how you feel when using or doing something, and then how you feel long term about being with the people who are also doing exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I love everything about that, and it brings up some thoughts. I never even thought of that. What we're talking about is celebratory. If we went out there and we lived the whole day and we fought and survived together, at the end of the week, hey, let's all sit back and have a beer, or have a smoke or whatever. Celebratory. And I'll tell you something else. I've been in bars where everybody's drinking, and there were just days I don't feel like it. And I could sit there at a bar and drink a water or drink a soda, and I'm fine. So we can still celebrate. People danced, and even dancing in some religions is the devil's work.
Because it brings your authority back to yourself, just for the record.
I like that. And you're absolutely right though. And this is why I bought all of this up. It all started, like I said, with, the sex. Oh my God, make sure you're doing it, monogamously and you're doing it this way. No, man. Listen, everybody's got a different way of doing it. And that brings, like you say, it brings power back to the people. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate in the way that I feel. And if I choose to celebrate with others, that's fantastic. We're a community, and that's the way we need to look at things. Yes, those that need help, because yes, there is addiction, and I'm not going to ignore that fact. And there are people who overindulge to the point where it's harmful. But that's an individual problem, and people need to get help with that. And I think we too, as a society, need to recognize because I know you probably got a lot to say, but here's when it comes to, I know, just start writing it down so you don't lose your thought. I, the one, especially when it comes to alcohol, and here's the problem I have with it. If somebody does not drink, we cannot sit there and say, hey, come on, man, just one beer. I don't believe in forcing somebody into it. But that's what's happening in society. I noticed some of our local little gas stations around here, they got the ability to serve alcohol, and all one day I went into one of these places because I really wanted orange juice because I love my vitamin C and it's a very good drink for me. No damn orange juice, but damn, I could get alcohol up the ass in these places. And I found that this is a problem because all we're doing is pushing people into the wrong path. Now, on top of the alcohol, gambling machines inside these stores. So you got the mixture of the gambling and the alcohol, and they're just sitting there pumping it. This is why I say we're not doctors. We're not pushing people to do this. Moderation does help. Don't get yourself addicted. Take it away, Lizzie.
So the thing is this is how people get caught in shame spirals. You're not supposed to drink. So then, okay, but yeah, there's no orange juice. So, you have a beer and you excuse it, whatever. But then you're sitting right there and you're like, well, I'm not supposed to gamble, but I'm already having a beer. It's the same idea with people who binge eat, you know what I mean? Or who drink too much and they think, well, I already had one. I might as well have two, might as well have seven. The thing is none of these things are anything to be shamed. They're just different things that we're exploring or not exploring, and it's all about what you're doing. And yeah, if you're drinking to the point of like not functioning in the world, that's not a great place to be. So I would classify myself as a past functional alcoholic because I held my job really well. I was on time. I did all the parenting things. I did everything I was supposed to do, but I did it drunk for a couple of years because life just kind of honestly sucked and I was just trying to make it through. And then that's kind of about that time period was when my spiritual awakening started, and I started using a pendulum and connecting to things. And everybody around me kept telling me I'm not supposed to be drinking, even like while I'm like reading tarot cards. I love getting drunk and reading tarot cards. I had the best readings at that time because I wasn't stuck in my head about what all these things meant and if I was going to offend them by what I said. That's something that always gets me in tarot because I can feel when I'm about to say something they're not ready for me to say, and I'm just I guess still getting over that. But when I'm drunk, I'll just say it, not even notice you're offended, and keep going, and then at the end you're like, damn, okay, yeah, you know what I mean. And so I got really good at those things. Wow, like trash. Like I'd have no memory of it. I do Marco Polo video journals of like energy sessions on myself and not remember them. But like my life would be different and I'd like go back and look and I'm like, okay, I see what you did there. Like I'm not condoning this. I recommend doing it sober. When I then did get sober, I then almost had to relearn how to do these things because now my ego was all in my way. I'd been bypassing my ego through alcohol because I'm drunk. I'm just like free, whatever. And it's just a funny little excuse, I guess, I gave myself to be free. But when I started giving that to myself, everything started coming back and then does actually work a lot better when you're not drunk. But, again, it worked for me. And if that's where you're at, like, don't think you have to wait until you get sober to start your spiritual journey. If you're drinking every day or whatever it is that you're doing, you don't have to, quote, get pure or get on track before you connect to yourself. Just connect now, wherever you are is just like exactly where you were supposed to be when you connect to yourself. And if you're supposed to stop drinking, that will feel good at some point. And if you're supposed to, you know, relax your moral boundaries on another thing, like that will feel good to you. And so that's the whole point is it's just whatever is gonna make you feel like moving forward and make you feel freer. That's what we're moving out of, is what makes us feel small and trapped and controlled. Whatever it is, movement, sex, art, like getting drunk, dancing, whatever it is, if it makes you feel good and free and closer to your body, that's probably what you should be doing.
You said so much, and I think it pretty much rounds up everything that's been on my mind. And I wanted to talk freely about it because, like I said, we're individuals. And here's the thing, I'm a Libra, so I believe in balance. Everything in life can be balanced. So, yes, rather than going on to the addiction side, take in moderation, enjoy, celebrate. This is your life. You know what you're connected to. I don't know what you're connected to. Only you do as the individual. So be proud of anything. whether it be your sexual preferences, whether it be you're celebrating with alcohol or celebrating with tobacco, marijuana, whatever the case, enjoy it. If it's a celebratory thing and you feel good, that's fine. I've learned with meditation, I could get myself into states that alcohol would never bring me into. So I could use meditation. But you know what? If I decide, hey, maybe I'm going to take a shot of my favorite Jack and Coke before I go into a meditative state and it helps me, I should not be judged. And I dare you to try and judge somebody else. This is not what it's about. Everybody has their own choices in life, and those that need help from it, they can get help from it, and we should be helping them with it rather than trying to support it or fuel it. And again, this entire episode was designed because, again, if you feel kind of left out because of some of your choices or the things you do, because other religions or even other spiritual gatekeepers told you you're not accepted, you are accepted here. And you know what? Let's celebrate as a community. I would love to get everybody into Eye Opener Society, have a place where we can sing, dance, drink, God help me for saying this, orgy, and everything
Yeah.
else all at once. Let's just celebrate the human spirit. Let us be free again rather than being so stomped down and oppressed because religion or something tells you something. It's coming from people that don't know. And I got news for you. Those that tell you not to do something the most, usually the ones that have the most skeletons in their closets. And when that door opens, you'll be shocked as to what's going on behind those closed doors. So that's why I wanted to bring to the table. And Lizzie, I appreciate you bringing your thoughts. If you don't have anything else, do you? You're all set. I want to thank everybody again for tuning in. This season is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to try and dig up some guests. And again, I like real people on this show. I don't like getting famous people. I don't like, or book writers and all this other stuff. I want real people with real human experiences. And that's what we got coming up. We have some, well, I'm hoping for. I'll call her out since she's right here. Lizzie's going to probably, hopefully, get some solo stuff on here, when she could record herself and we could put it up on our platform. But I'm looking forward to also getting some solo episodes as well as some mix match with all the ministers. I'm going to be looking forward to trying to get that together for this season too as well. So again, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. We hope to see you real soon. Don't forget our Wednesday night guided meditation class. Every Monday is our show. So just stand by for some more cool shit.